Welcome, everybody, to episode 192? 3? What episode
193, Brian.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 193 of the Geek Dad Report, the one show dedicated, formulated, specially created, and to bring you guys all the nerd news you need to know, all while putting a little Star Wars smile on your beautiful faces from a galaxy far, far away. I am Darth Brian, the Sith Lord with the mostest.
And I am Ryan. I need a Christmas hat. That's what I need.
You need something. I mean, look at me. I'm super festive. Not only am I celebrating Star Wars month, I am celebrating Christmas. Look at this.
I'm kind of jealous of that one, actually.
Which one, the hat or the shirt, or both?
I'll probably say both, just because I wouldn't mind doing that. But hey.
Well, my wife got me this hat a couple years ago, and I was like, she's like, I got it on clearance. I didn't think you'd wear it. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's the best thing I've ever seen. And it's even better now that Baby Yoda is literally the most popular thing in the entire planet. Everyone thinks this is a...
Giant eyes.
Yeah, everyone thinks this is a Baby Yoda hat, so I'm going to say that this is a Baby Yoda hat. My wife was on the Baby Yoda game way before anybody else was.
And you can also see Brian wear that hat and review the Star Wars Christmas special.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up. I teamed up with our friends over at the Utah Outcasts, X and Kyle, and we did we're trying to make it our annual review of the Star Wars Holiday Special. So if you have never seen the Holiday Special, I suggest watching it. It's the best way to do it is to watch us do a commentary track over the top of it. It is one of the worst 2 hours of anything you'll ever watch. Not our commentary, of course. Our commentary is just out of this world. But the movie is one of the worst things ever created in the history of mankind. And the fact that I have watched this multiple times, and I've done 2 commentary tracks on this thing, is actually quite incredible.
So I'll admit that the first year that you guys did it last year, I barely could get through the first 5 minutes where it was just a Wookiee doing the talking.
You mean the 13 minutes of only Sharuk talk, Wookiee speak, no subtitles?
I couldn't even make it through that. It wasn't your guys' commentary or anything. It was just the movie was so bad. I just couldn't. So bad. But this year I made it through at least 30 minutes.
It's only because we made fun of you early on, and so we want to see if we want to talk about you.
Yeah, I got to listen to you guys talk about me in the first.
I stood up for you. I stood up for my co-host, Ryan. You're the Chewie to my Han. Okay, I would never sell you out and let you down. I would never let you down. I'd never give you up. I'd never or desert you.
Yeah. But I did make it. I made it half an hour, Brian. I made it half an hour through your second review.
Congratulations. That's a half of your life you'll never get back. But everybody else, if you'd like to check it out, it is in our feed. Well, it is in our Facebook feed. It is also over, and the original special is in our YouTube feed. But if you want to watch this latest one, you have to head over to the Utah Outcast on YouTube, or you can check it out on our Facebook or Twitter account. But I recommend it. It's pretty fun. It's a fun, festive way to spend your holiday. I prefer, I would suggest that you drink a lot before you watch it, though.
Well, and it's nice to see what a podcast looks like when you have green screens, and because they had, I think Kyle had a Tatooine or something in the background.
Yeah, those assholes. So we start recording, and I think that it's some new. I've never used this recording thing that we're using. It allows me to people call in and stuff. So I have never used it, and so I think that there's some trick way on this program to change your background. So I'm for 5 minutes I'm scrolling through the settings trying to find this, and then I find out they're like, oh no, that's our own personal thing. Oh, you sons of bitches. You couldn't have told me that earlier.
You have your own good background, Brian.
You know what? I spent a lot of money on this. No green screen needed.
Funko Pops. You're going to need a second shelf, my friend. I mean, it's getting out of control.
Well, if you could see up, I've overtaken more of my wife's shelving. So hey, pretty soon my whole house is going to be a Funko house. I like it. But Yeah, no, so that was fun. It was cool to go over there and do that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, other than that, how was did you? It was Thanksgiving last week.
Yeah, it was
I'm
good.
assuming you consumed a lot of food.
Well,
So
I did. It was it's been a great weekend. You know, I Thanksgiving, I watched the Cowboys lose, which is always fun. I watched the Niners lose, which is just great. And the Seahawks
yeah,
won another wonderful game on Monday Night Football because they're the best. So I had a good football weekend. And then Thanksgiving was good. We had a lot of food. I actually didn't overdo it this year. I only had 1.5 plates of food, which is not very much.
yeah. So I had my first plate where I always just take like a little bit of everything,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was gonna go back for my. It was just me and my family. We didn't like go anywhere or have people over.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but my son, he put so much like mashed potatoes and gravy and the turkey because he thought he was going to be able to eat like a lot. He could not finish it, so I had to basically I had my plate and then everything that was left on my son's plate, and then I ate everything that was left on my daughter's plate. Because
Wow.
apparently they thought they could eat. Well, it wasn't like a lot, but
It sounds like it was a lot.
but basically I had like 2+ plates.
Is that why you're wearing your jersey, Ryan? You can't fit into a t-shirt anymore?
Yeah. So and then I ate Thanksgiving for like 3 days because we
Nice.
had so much leftovers. So
We went to the in-laws, right? So we went home with no leftovers, but I will say this is pretty great. So we ate food. My father-in-law bakes all these pies, so I had a plate and a half of food, and then I had a whole plate of pie and ice cream, right? So he had cherry pie, apple pie. He had pumpkin. This year I literally only took like a sliver of pumpkin, and I only did that just because I'm like, you're kind of supposed to eat pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving, but the older I get, the more I hate pumpkin pie. Ugh. Not very
so
good.
we got a Costco pumpkin pie,
Yeah, that's
which
what we had too.
because the Costco pumpkin pies are like
They're
ginormous.
huge.
And I told my wife I had no intention of eating any pumpkin pie. We had an apple pie, and I was like, I'm just gonna eat that.
Yeah.
My son, over 3 days, ate slices of pumpkin pie that were like.
When I was younger, I used to love pumpkin pie. And it seems like every year as I get older, I just think pumpkin pie is the grossest of the pies. And to this year, the point I almost couldn't bring myself to eat any of it. But
I used to love pumpkin pie. Like I used to eat like half of pumpkin pie. Maybe that's just why. I don't know.
cherry is a great pie. Apple is by far the king of all pies. And I think coming in a close second, highly underrated is a good blueberry pie.
I don't think I've ever had a blueberry pie.
It is. If you ever see one, next time you see one at the store, get it. Get some vanilla ice cream and just trust me. Thank me. You'll thank me later. But if you ever get a chance to, Costco has. If you ever get the Dutch apple lattice pie that Costco makes, they do the Dutch apple top, but then they put icing and caramel over the top of it.
Those ones are good.
It's incredible. But anyway, God, now I'm getting hungry. I'm getting diabetes just talking about it. Because I will sit and I will eat the whole goddamn pie. That's who I am. But yeah, so the best thing about things, so we went home, we didn't have any leftovers. My wife was kind of about it. Well, she comes home, doesn't tell me, but she comes home and she decided that she was going to make her own leftovers, aka she was just going to have her own, like she bought stuff for stuffing, she bought stuff for mashed potatoes and candied yams and green bean casserole. She even bought a turkey, right?
Making a whole nother Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but I didn't know she was going to do it. And then all of a sudden Sunday, we're watching the new Grinch movie, the animated one. It's on Netflix right now. And she gets up. It's like 5 o'clock. She gets up and she's like, "I'm gonna go make dinner." And I'm like, "We're watching a movie." She's like, "Well, we'll just finish it later." I'm like, "All right." And so I go, like, I start smelling it. It smells like Thanksgiving. I'm like, "What is this?" She's in there whipping up. She just decided to make an entire second Thanksgiving on Sunday. The turkey, though, she tried to cook the turkey, but it was too frozen, so we ended up not being able to cook the turkey. But I had a ham that I had bought, so we just cut up the ham. So we had a Christmas ham, I guess, but with all the things. So we had second Thanksgiving, but with a ham, which I think might actually be better than turkey, honestly.
Yeah.
On Sunday, it was fun. That was cool. It was a surprise. It was a surprise Thanksgiving, and that is the best kind of Thanksgiving, in my opinion.
Yeah. We got to the point with the leftovers where there were a whole bunch of mashed potatoes,
Oh.
and gravy and a whole bunch of cream corn, but nothing else left. And so I just had a plate of mashed potatoes and cream corn and gravy, and I just mixed it all together.
Oh, yeah. So when you load up on Thanksgiving dinner, what do you put the most of? What's your favorite dishes for Thanksgiving?
Gravy.
Well,
I literally just take the thing of gravy and I just go.
That is kind of the best thing about Thanksgiving is almost everything you can put on your plate, you can literally smother in gravy, so it doesn't matter if it gets all over it.
It is the only time where I eat gravy with anything. Honestly.
I probably eat 7 deviled eggs because I love some deviled eggs.
Yes.
And then I like stuffing, but here's my thing. I don't like to put too much stuffing on my plate because I feel like stuffing fills you up, right?
Yeah, but it's got to be like a good kind of stuffing. It can't be like stovetop.
Stovetop it can be good if you cook it right. But yes, I agree. It has to be good. I actually literally the turkey is the least amount I put on there because to me turkey's kind of boring and I'm just like meh. So I put a little bit of turkey, and then I'll put a reasonable side of mashed potatoes, and then you got to volcano it out so you can just fill it full of gravy, right? And you put a little stuffing. I really like green bean casserole, so I'll put a big slap of green bean casserole. Yeah. And then the candied yams. So I usually try and equal everything. I'd probably say that I have a little more mashed potatoes and gravy than probably any other dish. But my wife also makes a really good fruit salad, which is basically just Jell-O, fruit, and whipped cream.
Yeah. My wife does Brussels sprouts. Got bacon Brussels sprouts.
Ooh.
It's really, really good.
It does sound good. I feel like if you put bacon on almost anything, it's pretty good.
Yeah. So, yeah, I pretty much just put enough gravy to cause at least a good 2 heart attacks.
Oh, good. Well, you're still young, so you're fine.
And I just go to town.
Just keep aspirin on hand. That's all you need.
But we didn't have a turkey this year. We went to Trader Joe's, and they had
squirrel.
It kind of looked like it was turkey breast, and then they put stuffing over it, and then they did like one of those, like a puff pastry. So it's kind of like a turkey beef Wellington kind of thing. And then you put it in the oven and you just bake it, and it's just like all the stuff encrusted, and then you have all your stuffing and the turkey and everything, and you just kind of slice it all up. It was really good. I actually enjoyed it.
We just took 3 packs of turkey lunch meat and threw it on a plate and warmed it up. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Wow, that's classy.
That's the way we like to keep it classy, Ryan. But so I did that. We ate, and then I did most of my shopping. I did it all online. Didn't go to a single store. Well, I did go to one store on Black Friday, but just to do my normal grocery shopping, and picked up a couple items, mostly for myself. But so I got a question: when you Christmas shop, do you buy things? I got to do a little discussion with my missus today. When you Christmas shop and you're online on all the deals and Black Friday shopping and stuff, do you like only buy for your family, or are you like, ooh, I'm buying for my family? Oh, and this would be nice for me.
I actually, when I am shopping online, I'm typically not buying for myself. And when it comes to Christmas shopping, so I actually do not. The only thing that I purchased for myself was that because my in-laws are coming, I bought some new light covers because I'm going to replace them. That was what I bought for myself.
So I strategically leave things off my Christmas list because I plan on buying them for myself. So yeah. I guess that's just me. Apparently I am the only person who does this. Or as my wife said, you're the only grown man I know who decided to spend $60 on a pet Wookiee for himself for Christmas.
In your defense, it is a pet Wookiee. I mean,
guys, it's a for real pet, okay? If you don't know what a for real pet is, it makes all these noises and it activates to your motion, and they're normally like $200. It was such a good deal that I couldn't not get it.
And it's a certifiable co-pilot.
I also bought myself this cool mug.
Yeah, so you can strap it into the passenger seat.
I also bought some cool Star Wars plush pants. I bought some Seahawks tennis shoes. I don't know what the big deal is. I mean, I bought everybody else things first, but I did make one strategic error, though. The one thing I did put on my list that I should have left off is the new Star Wars game, Jedi Fallen Order, because I want to play it so bad, but it was like the first thing I put on my Christmas list, and I'm 100% positive she bought it for me. So now I have to wait like a month and a half to play this game that everyone keeps saying is amazing.
I'll just let you know that game is freaking awesome.
You son of a...
Yeah, my son got it. So he had his birthday party.
His birthday's been canceled.
So he had his birthday party, and his birthday's in September, but he wanted to have a paintball birthday party, so we waited until November when it was a little bit cooler out.
Uh-huh.
And so he got a whole bunch of like gift cards and stuff. And we said, and he really, really wanted it. And we said, all right, that's the only thing before Christmas he can buy himself. But I haven't played it yet, but I've been watching him play it, and it is freaking amazing. He's at the part where he can force push people. So he just like...
Okay, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear anymore.
Force push.
We'll talk about it after Christmas, Ryan. Gonna wait a few more weeks.
But it's the graphics. So you have a good TV, right? Yeah, you have the 4K. It's so sweet, bro.
Yeah, I've heard it's great. I'm excited for it. So I mean, that's whatever. It's a good Christmas present. I bought myself enough other things to make me happy until then. So whatever. You know what I bought this year? We bought this year for family for Christmas. Is I broke down and bought a Lego Advent calendar. I've been seeing them for years. But I've never bought one, and so we've decided instead of doing the Advent like candy calendar things, we try something different. And so the Star Wars one wasn't really impressing me that much this year, so they had a cool Harry Potter one. So we bought the Harry Potter Christmas. Those are pretty cool. Have you ever seen those, or do you ever done those?
No.
So they're about $30, which is actually a pretty good deal. You get about 400 Lego pieces, and each day. So I'd show you, but it's over there. That way on my table.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so each day it's got like a different...
So what's kind of cool is the box has a little like cover thing that folds down, and it turns into, so like the Harry Potter one, the Advent calendar, it's like any other Advent calendar. It has all the little boxes with the days, and the background is Hogwarts. And so you lay it down, and it's ground and snow on the little lay down part. So every day you open it, you pull it out, and you build pieces. So the first day we got a Harry Potter with, he got the Harry sweatshirt, the Christmas sweatshirt with the H on it. And then the second day we got a little toy train. And then the third day we got two like little mini bushes, Christmas bushes. And then today we got the Christmas tree. So we're setting up the scene. So when the whole thing is done on Christmas Day, it'll look like Christmas at Hogwarts.
Oh,
but in Legos. It's pretty cool. So if anybody's looking for a cool Advent calendar, I know it's a few days late, but you could catch up pretty quick. They're probably on sale now since it's already the time. But the Harry Potter Advent calendar I got on Amazon, I think, for $30. It was pretty cool.
It's better than stupid, really terrible tasting chocolate.
Yeah, and candy is going to rot your teeth and give you diabetes.
When did we start caring about teeth rotting?
When we had children and had to start paying for dental insurance.
That's true.
But all right, well, we should probably start the show. We got a lot of stuff for you guys today. We got a bunch of news. We're going to talk a little bit about Mandalorian and Watchmen. We keep touching base on those every episode, so why not keep talking about them? And we got some, well, I wouldn't say recommendations. We got some fun reminders of a bunch of great shows that are coming in December, and we also got a whole bunch of questions from the Faithful 15. So it's going to be a fun show. A lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of Star Wars talk. I don't know if anybody knows this, but in exactly 2 weeks, Rise of Skywalker comes out. And for me, the circle will now be complete. When I first saw Star Wars, I was but the learner. Now I will be the master. The master, Ryan.
Brian's going to... I'm willing to bet you're going to have tears when you're watching
I got tears watching the trailers. I'm going to sob like a small little baby. Like a little baby who's hungry. Like somebody stole my binky.
Best climax in my life.
Luckily for me, I'm going to have Chewbacca there with me to comfort me.
Yeah. Now, aren't you taking your daughter on the
I'm actually, I'm going twice to opening weekend. Thursday night, the special advanced screen. I don't know how opening day is now Thursday, but whatever.
Yeah.
The advanced screenings at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. But we're going to the 6:30 show on Thursday. And then, so I'm taking my oldest daughter who's 10, and then one of my friends is going with us. So it'll be the three of us. We're going to go. And then on Saturday, I'm taking the whole family. My 7-year-old really, really wanted to go. She was really mad at me that I didn't take her. I'm not taking her. But the movie's 2.5 hours long. I think it's like 2 hours and like 38 minutes long. And she's still at that age where she starts getting kind of antsy after about an hour and 20 minutes. Like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Is there any more popcorn? Who's this? Who's that? What's going on? You know, and I have no problem taking her to a movie, like, where I have to explain things or she's a little antsy, but not Star Wars. Not opening night on this movie that I've been waiting for forever. The end of the Skywalker saga. No way. And so, to make it up to her, though, I took her to go see Frozen 2 last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, which is actually a really good movie. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed Frozen 2. I really liked it.
No.
Which apparently everybody did, because it's about to cross $1 billion. I mean, as of last weekend, it had made almost $800 million worldwide.
That's insane for an animated movie, really. But it doesn't surprise me because it's Disney, and Disney just shoot money.
I want to say it was the largest opening ever for an animated movie. I mean, it's the biggest sequel, and I mean, it's going to set all the records. And it should. It's actually really good. I liked it way better than I liked the first one. Was
it less musical and singing and more like action stuff?
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. So the movie is a little bit darker, and I don't want to say that's what makes it better, because all these people, I hate it when people are like, oh, it's darker, it's more adult, that's what makes it better. It is darker because it deals with some darker materials, but it's not a darker movie, right? Like, it's just... Yeah. It deals with some more adult themes. I mean, the first movie, I don't want to say that. The first movie had some deep themes to it too. So, okay, so first of all, the musical. Here's what I'll say. The first movie had better songs like Let It Go, Do You Want to Build a Snowman? I mean, you can hymn those right now and you will immediately remember them and start singing along, because that's how impactful those songs were. This movie doesn't have the 9 and 10, like, Let It Go, Build a Snowman, but every single song is a solid 8, right? So It has a better across-the-board soundtrack that makes more sense for the movie, and it flows better with the movie. So it feels more like a musical, where the last one felt like a lot of songs were just kind of thrown at you. At least in my opinion.
Like they made the song, and then they had to make the movie around the song.
Yeah, you almost feel like Let It Go was written before the movie was done. This movie feels much more like they knew what they had, and they were writing the music with the movie much more. It feels more like a Hamilton type soundtrack than it does a Disney soundtrack. It's really good. And it deals with a lot of adult stuff. And there's, I don't want to ruin it, but there's kind of a twist halfway through the movie where this movie almost becomes like a Pocahontas sequel. It's almost like an apology letter. It's almost like Disney's writing an apology letter for not understanding some of the things that, like, when they did with Pocahontas. And this movie ends up becoming about the mistakes of our past. While not our faults, we still have to answer for them and try and make them right. And that's kind of what the movie's about. And it's really good. It's a really powerful movie.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'll try and convince my family. There's like really zero interest.
Well, I mean, there's some really good action in this. And the other thing I really liked is it doesn't, I hated that they turned Anna into Elsa was kind of the villain for a little while. I mean, she wasn't the villain, but I like movies when characters are much less confrontational and much more working together to solve a common, for the common good, right? Like Civil War was probably my least favorite Captain America movie, because I did not like Iron Man and Captain America butting heads, right? I didn't like Anna and Elsa like being ripped apart before they were put back together, right? This movie's much more of like, we're sisters, we love each other, let's do this together. Yeah, there's moments where their paths, go apart, but it doesn't feel like they're being ripped apart just so they can be put back together again, right? It's just, I don't know, I really liked it. The whole cast, and plus it's nice, the entire cast starts out together, so you get a lot more of the it's Olaf is there right from the beginning, so he's fun. I mean, everything just really, really works, and it has a really good, it kind of mocks Frozen 1, which is really kind of funny, so it's a good movie. Maybe I'm just getting soft in my old age, but Frozen 2 is truthfully, I think I tweeted this out, was it's probably one of the best movies I've seen this year. I'll be honest.
Oh, I'm gonna have to try and get my family out to see it. So.
And last thing I'll say about Frozen, maybe this is part of it too. There is a full-on boy band power ballad song from Kristoff.
Okay.
Kristoff and the Reindeers, where they pay a little homage to Queen.
Brian, but now you just pushed it over the top.
Dude, so. It's called, what's it called? Lost in the Woods. It's hilarious. I mean, Spin the Reindeer is like the backup vocals. Dude, it's such a great boy band song that freaking Weezer does a cover of it.
Alright. So
it's great. I loved it. It's funny. So yeah, I thought they did a really good job. So I was really, I really enjoyed it. It felt more, honestly, I guess it felt more like a Pixar movie than a Disney movie.
Yeah. Well, so. I will definitely try to figure out how I can contribute to that $1 billion total. So
yeah, hey, listen, everyone's gonna see it. So hey. I don't think they're going to be hurting for money if you don't get a chance to go. But I would recommend, if anybody wants to see a fun movie over the holiday that is not Star Wars, or I guess Jumanji comes out next weekend. That'll be fun too. But
well, I guess now we can wait to see how long it takes a movie to go from the theater to Disney Plus. So
yeah, that's true. But all right, that's all our Frozen news for the week. All right, what else we got? Do you want to? What were we talking about? Star Wars. We were talking about. Okay, so since we were talking about Star Wars, I think that's what we were talking about before we segued into Frozen. And how excited I am for Rise of Skywalker. We got a bunch of Star Wars news, so we might as well just knock that out before we get to everything else. First up, I am not the only one who's excited for Rise of Skywalker. The box office tracking analysts have updated their projection based on excitement and ticket sales, and they are now projecting the Star Wars to gross over $200 million on its opening weekend, which is a lot.
Well, considering that I was able to find Friday tickets in ample amount of theaters because they're having a bajillion screenings at every theater. So,
dude, this is going to be I bet you this is probably one of the biggest wide releases of all time. Like I bet you this is hitting so many theaters and so many screens.
Yeah. So I mean, if you have been waiting to get tickets, I would suggest you do it sooner than later because, at least in my area, there's still some seats left, but there are not going to be that many left.
Well, in my area, every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're completely sold out. So Sunday, I think there might still be some available. But yeah, to your point, go get them now. This is your last chance if you want to see it opening weekend. Unless you want to go at like 3 a.m. on a Sunday. Then you might be able to go.
Yeah, if you can handle that, go for it. But if not, get your tickets now.
Well, and I mean, I'm sure it'll be good. I mean, be aware. Spoilers are going to start creeping out. They had the very first screening this, I think today or yesterday. It was a cast screening, so I do not think there'll be too many spoilers sneaking out. But be aware, there was a script. John Boyega's script ended up on eBay. People are aware of this movie, and they haven't been as tight with spoilers. So I would suggest doing what I'm going to do. If anything has Rise of Skywalker on it, just kind of ignore it. Unless it's on our page. We promise we'll never spoil anything major ever, so
yeah.
Be aware. Here's one tiny spoiler now that I just mentioned that for episode 9. So if you don't want to know this at all, you can plug your ears, skip ahead about 15 seconds. But there was a featurette that was released, and one of the things that was shown in it, like I said, very minor spoiler, so anyway, but warning, is Warwick Davis, better known as Willow, better known as Wicket the Ewok, from the neck down in an Ewok suit staring at the Wicket, mask. And it's not Warwick Davis as a child, it's Warwick Davis now. So there has been confirmation during this featurette that was released by Disney that yes, they are going back to Endor, and yes, we are going to have the Ewoks back.
Yep.
Which makes me basically say if they just remake Return of the Jedi beat for beat, I know a lot of people will be mad, but I'll take it because that's my favorite Star Wars movie.
How annoying is it going to be if that they needed the Ewoks to help defeat the Empire, and then they're like, "Hey, I know the best people to get a hold of to help take out the First Order." They single-handedly.
Not only will I not be disappointed.
They can totally do the First Order.
Not only will that I would not be disappointed if that's what they do, I will be angry if they don't call the Ewoks to help them defeat the First Order, because I want to see two galactic space Nazi regimes taken down by Ewoks. I think that would be just amazing.
Right. So, do you think the Ewoks have upgraded?
And it makes my new tattoo very relevant.
So are they still using like logs, to like smash into each other?
Hey, listen, I personally hope that now if we find out that Wicket is actually Force sensitive and actually he's a trained Jedi now, that'd be cool. I just hope that Chewbacca remembers him.
Yeah. I don't know.
And they better say Beach Wawa. Beach Wawa. And they gotta sing Nub Nub. Nub Nub. Do 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 do.
As long as they do that, I'm good. I just want to see him throw some rocks, take out a whole storm, or take out a whole army of First Order.
It would be very JJ if the Ewoks attack the First Order, but this time Kylo just chopped them all in half and walks away. He said kill the past. Maybe he actually meant the Ewoks.
The Ewoks. We're gonna beat them. You're gonna beat the First Order at a time, and just like the first 5 seconds, the First Order just wipes out the entire race.
Just takes them all out immediately. Oh god, that'd be. There would probably be some people who are happy about that, but whatever. Let's see what else we got. There's been a lot of cool Rise of Skywalker posters, so I've been sharing them. If you want some really cool artwork or some screensavers for your phone, now is the time to grab those. They're on StarWars.com too. You can check them out. Let's see. I already mentioned John Boyega apparently accidentally left his script in his apartment, and a cleaning person found it, and then they put it on eBay for $80. Disney promptly bought it. And John Boyega got a yelling at.
You got in trouble.
If you want to know more about that story, let's see what else we got. What other Star Wars stuff do we have here? We have. I had something here. We have. So another little promotional thing they're doing for the tie-in of the movie. I mean, you'd probably have to be living under a rock to not see some kind of Rise of Skywalker promotion. Disney is putting the full force of the Disney marketing team behind this movie. They are leaving no stone or airplane unturned. United now has Star Wars themed flights that you can take. That the plane is decked out in Star Wars, and there are stormtroopers on the flight with you.
I would just take the flight and then just book like the first return flight, and then just like go back home and just have. Not even stay at a place, just have, extra time on the plane.
I just wish, I'm going to Disneyland next May. I just wish that I could take this flight to Disneyland. That would be amazing. But unfortunately for me, I do not get that. But what I do get is I get to ride the new Rise of the Resistance ride, which will be open later, I guess not this year, but early next year. So it opens January, I think, worldwide, everywhere. Yeah. But a few lucky people, reviewers, got to check it out in Disney World. And the reviews are out, one of those places where Entertainment Weekly, and they raved about this ride, saying it's one of the best rides ever, if not the best theme ride ever created. They're throwing out words like that. They're saying, they're throwing out words like the Harry Potter ride, but even more magical. Apparently it's 18 minutes long. It takes you on an actual story, and it's basically like an 18-minute little mini movie that you are part of the Resistance, and you fight the First Order. The story takes place.
18-minute ride.
This takes place between episode 8 and episode 9, so it's going to be some kind of unused, unseen areas of whatever. But I think it's 8 and 9, and it's 18-minute ride. Some of it's thrill ride, some of it's they say kind of think of Indiana Jones. It's jerky, it moves around fast, but it's less of a thrill. It's not a roller coaster. It's more of It's a theme ride that's interactive and makes you feel like you're part of a story. So,
yeah, I would not want to stand in line for that. You gotta wait.
That's why I'm going at off-peak time, and I'll get a fast pass and go.
Yeah.
Well, my guess is here's what they'll probably do. This is what they did with Harry Potter. So the Harry Potter Forbidden Forest ride is not 18 minutes. It's probably 5 or 6 minutes long. But the way that they get it going fast is they have cranes like a conveyor, and the cranes just keep going. And you don't wait for your car to end and then load up and go like the Cars ride. It's just a constant track that's running at all times. So my guess is they'll probably do the same thing here. It's probably going to be divided up into different rooms, and you go to different rooms to tell the story. And so as you exit, somebody else will enter, and it's just going to be an ongoing.
That makes sense.
They'll probably have, if it's 18 minutes long, they'll probably have like 100 cars going at one time, which you're going to be able to move people through this pretty quickly. So I don't know. When I go in May, I will give everyone my review of this ride. We will have an entire episode of just me geeking out over Galaxy's Edge when I get back, but if we're still doing the show. But if anybody goes in early January, I'd love to hear their experience and what you guys thought about it. So either way, I don't care. I'm super excited. I can't wait.
Awesome. That's all that matters.
Speaking of things that gets people super excited, Baby Yoda from The Mandalorian. If you don't know who that is, you've probably been living under a rock, as well as
there's no Baby Yoda love out there in the universe, that's for sure.
This earlier this week, Baby Yoda had more mentions than all of the Democratic all the presidential nominees combined.
Because Baby Yoda is quite possibly the greatest marketing
gimmick of all time.
The storytelling / marketing thing that Disney could have came out with.
I mean, when's the last time something came out that you can't remember what your life was like before it was part of it?
Yeah. I don't look at little tiny green children eating frogs the same.
I mean, okay, and we're not going to talk about football, but this is related to football. So the Seattle Seahawks have this guy, his name is Cabo Thanos on Twitter, if you want to check out some funny videos he does. He's just a guy like me who likes to edit videos, and he's created some crazy Seahawk videos to the point where Russell Wilson is constantly retweeting him, and the Seattle Seahawks are retweeting his stuff. So he came up with, before the Monday Night Football game, he took the Baby Yoda and made him into a Russell Wilson. He put little Russell Wilson hair on him. The hat, I shared it. I put it on Facebook and on my profile pic. It got picked up by literally everyone to the point where Russell Wilson, like every Seahawks fan on Twitter, made it their avatar. And the Seattle Seahawks said, listen, if you want us, we'll make this our official picture if you retweet this tweet 33,000 times. And it got retweeted like 50,000 times in like an hour. So if you go to the Seattle Seahawks official,
should have set that number a little bit higher.
Yeah, I don't think they quite understood. There was people from other fan bases retweeting because they just thought it was awesome. If you go look at the Seattle Seahawks official Twitter account right now, their avatar is they call him Baby Yoda 3. I mean, the NFL, here's the funny part. NFL, after we beat the Vikings, the NFL put up like this animated picture of Russell Wilson, a couple of his receivers at dinner, like sipping coffee. And on the table was Russell Wilson's phone. And if you zoom into the phone, it was the picture of Baby Yoda. So, like, literally, this is where this has gone. Like, it's crossed streams into every aspect of our lives.
When Baby Yoda is in sports, anything sports related, which usually you don't get a lot of crossover, that's when you know you've hit.
Well, the baby Yoda, yeah, exactly. The Baby Yoda sipping bone broth has officially replaced the Yoda sipping, or the Kermit the Frog sipping tea gif.
Oh wow!
I mean, hey, you had a good run, Kermit, but you were out.
Well,
I mean, here's the thing:
Yoda is here to stay, and it is going to take over everything. So,
I mean, here's the thing.
It's just really sad next episode when they kill the Baby Yoda, and it's not going to be on the show anymore. So,
yeah, well, here's the thing: they're not going to kill Baby Yoda ever, because even if they planned on killing Baby Yoda, which I don't think they did. The lengths they went to keep this under wraps, I mean, they got to the point where they did not set up merchandise to be sold around the holidays because they didn't want people finding out about Baby Yoda. To the point now where demand for Baby Yoda merchandise is like literally just insane. Funko put up they got a 10-inch pop and a regular size pop, immediately sold out, and they're not even shipping till May of 2020.
Yeah.
Disney has a plush.
Isn't that crazy? Like how much lead time that they must be doing for. So if they were doing it like on a normal schedule,
yeah,
they would have been producing those things 8 months ago
Yeah.
that somebody knows that there's a Baby Yoda
So
out there.
if Star Wars would have not thought that Baby Yoda was going to be the greatest thing ever, they would have not held this back. They just would have mass marketed it, mass merchandised it, and
Yeah,
sold a
but
billion of these things.
no.
So I think they knew what they had, and I think they wanted exactly what they're getting right now. Everyone talking every single week. They release a show once a week. Everyone's talking about Baby Yoda, about The Mandalorian. I mean, The Mandalorian dethroned Stranger Things as the top streaming TV show in the United States. Stranger Things was for 5 months the number one rated show, and The Mandalorian has crushed it, and it's only been 4 episodes.
It's my son on Friday mornings has been trying to wake up earlier so that we can watch it before I go to work. And I leave at 7:00 in the morning to go to work.
Dude, I saw one thing. I don't know how true it is because it's Netflix doesn't really release all their numbers, but I saw one thing that said that The Mandalorian is the most downloaded online show of all time.
It wouldn't surprise me. My son and I watched the 4th episode tonight.
Dude, even my wife, every Friday we get off, everyone gets home and they're like, "Oh, it's Mandalorian time!" And first thing we do is hop on the couch and watch The Mandalorian. I mean, I can't remember any show that all of us sat down and watched like that.
Yeah.
So it is.
Yeah.
It is breaking.
We'll talk about the episode a little bit, but we can talk about it now, I guess, if we want to just get it out of the way.
Yeah, we can. What do you want to talk about? So, we got episode 4 spoilers, I guess, for what was it called? The chapter 4. I don't know, The Village, maybe.
Chapter 4, The Sin.
No, that was chapter 2.
Oh, that was chapter 3.
No, chapter 3 was. Oh, that was chapter 3 was The Sin. Chapter 4 was the one where he met Gina Carano and they saved the village from the evil AT-ST.
Yeah. And it's just good old spaghetti western in space.
Dude, it was basically an episode of The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Hey, you person, we need your help to save our village, and you did it. And I don't. Here's the thing. What was the episode about? I don't even care because we got a whole shit ton of Baby Yoda being cute as hell. We got our new what's her name, Cara Dune.
Oh, the Mandalorian does take off his helmet.
Yeah, he does. We find out he takes off his helmet. He just can't do it in front of anybody. We got the most hottest sexual chemistry I've ever seen between a dude in a helmet and some random chick he just met.
Yeah.
Those two were he almost was ready to abandon his... He was almost ready to abandon all his code to just stick in this little shrimp village.
Yeah, it's... And then, what was that race that they were fighting? Claptoonies or something?
Claptoos, I think. Claptoos. One of them is... the last time we've seen him... Well, they have him on the Clone Wars a few times, but I think it first appeared in Return of the Jedi. Is a race of beings that on Jabba's sail barge. One of the guys... I think it's one of the guys who shot Luke's hands when he had his lightsaber. But they're dog-like people, I guess, who work for the Hutts a lot.
Well, how the hell did those guys get an ATST?
I don't know. This show has a lot of unanswered questions, but I don't really care. I love the ATST. I like how they gave it red eyes, so it made it almost look like
red eyes.
It was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, and it had that very much. She just recently got off Jurassic World. She's filming the 3rd one. It really had the ATST felt like a dinosaur, like it was stomping through the woods, and it was kind of scary, and it was. I really liked it. I kind of liked how they made it almost its own personality, which I thought was pretty cool, like his own. Yeah. Like it was alive.
Spotlight on and shining the spotlight around.
I really like the new character. I think it's Cara Dune. She was really cool. I like how they made her basically. I got the feeling that she was a rebel deserter, like she just given up on the New Republic and just left, and so she had people looking for her. But I liked how we got a New Republic rebel shock trooper. She was a badass. She talks a little bit about the state of the galaxy. I like how the show slowly fills in little bits about what's been happening after Return of the Jedi, like on a galaxy scale. And they're kind of laying the foundation hey, the New Republic sucks. Nobody likes the New Republic. It doesn't work.
Gone, but it's not really gone. And
I like how they're kind of setting up how, one of the questions of Force Awakens was how could a new empire basically rise so fast after the last one fell? Well, I think we're starting to see signs of it in this show. Is they keep talking about how the New Republic doesn't work, how it's corrupt, how it's boring, how it's lost its way. I mean, a lot of times it's sometimes it's easier to overthrow an existing government than it is to actually like run the government yourself and like put in the infrastructure and run the galaxy.
Especially trying to create a government in an entire galaxy.
Yeah. So I really like how they're laying a lot of that groundwork in this show, kind of filling in the gaps that way, but they're not like hitting you over the head with exposition. They're kind of slowly giving you a little bit nuggets here and there. They're doing it through the characters you meet and their stories. I like how they're incorporating. We finally saw something from Star Wars Rebels. We saw a Loth cat, the cat that almost ate Baby Yoda in that little restaurant. That cat is from Star Wars Rebels. They're from Lothal, the Loth cats.
Well, and we did get to see a training montage, because
that was cool.
Because
that episode
defending the people who never defended themselves without a good training montage.
This would have been a perfect episode for me when they find out about the ATST. If Mandalorian had been like, well, we can't take this down. It would have been hilarious if Cara Dune would have said, well, unless you got a couple of Ewoks, I would have died. I would have died laughing because she said she spent time on Endor. I would have loved that. But one of my favorite lines ever of anything on this show so far is when they first find the ATST and they go back to the villagers and the Mandalorian goes, I got some bad news. You can't live here anymore.
Yeah. You can't live here anymore.
Got some bad news. Can't live here anymore. Time to go. And they're like, what? They're like, sorry guys, we can't take this thing down. You got to move.
They got an ATST. I'm good.
Yeah, that was such a great line. I mean, everybody in my family was laughing our asses off. And then just watching Baby Yoda play with everybody. Like, Baby Yoda's the best thing ever. When he's switching the music, all the gifs of when he's playing with the little knobs. So when they're first flying to the planet, he keeps turning everything off and on. Like, people are inserting music like he's playing with the radio. Dude, Baby Yoda has all the best gifts. I don't tell anybody.
And it's all a puppet, right? They're not doing
it's a puppet. It's an actual puppet.
Yeah. So they're doing a really good job of incorporating just the cuteness of everything, So
I loved it. I've heard a lot of people say this is the weakest episode. I don't judge the show by the week I judge it just based off of is it great, and I love it. And the first 3 episodes were very much one story. This is kind of a standalone episode of just like you said, showing up at a village and helping people.
And this is not they're not doing a traditional Star Wars story.
No, they're not.
This is very much a space western. And
it's just something fun.
It feels like an old spaghetti western kind of movie with like Firefly trickled in.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. It definitely does. And this was just one of those standalone episodes where it gave us some extra characters, it gave us some backstory. We learned a lot about the Mandalorian. We learned about the New Republic, and it was just fun. It was really fun. I don't care. I love everything about this show. I think it's fantastic.
It's definitely a lot of fun.
I'm so excited. If this is going to be the future of what we're getting from Star Wars TV shows, give me all the Star Wars. All of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
Just keep doing the Mandalorian. That's all I want.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, going from one show that I want all of it to another show that I'm just about over with, the CW DC Universe shows. Arrow's been all right. It's the final season.
You're slogging through those, man. I give you all the kudos.
I only watch Flash, Arrow, and Legend of Tomorrow. Arrow's almost over. I haven't watched Supergirl. I haven't watched Batwoman. I do watch the cross. Now, I've never seen an episode of Black Lightning. Yeah, that's a CW show. I forgot about that one. Legend of Tomorrow is at least funny. I might quit watching Flash after Crisis, but I will say this. I am excited for Crisis on Infinite Earths. This looks like their biggest crossover event. I cannot wait to see Brandon Routh as as OG Superman and the Kingdom Come Superman. We got Kevin Conroy. We got a picture of Kevin Conroy. He's going to be playing the old Batman in Kingdom Come with the metal suit, exoskeleton because he can't walk. There's some really cool. There was a screenshot of Brandon Routh choking the new Superman on the CW Superman, and you're just like, oh, yeah, that's right. But
I think I'll just watch the Infinite Crisis and not.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It starts
with their with their big crossover thing. I just watched. That's the only thing I watched last year from all the CW.
Yeah, try and watch it. It airs. So we'll try and talk about it next week on the show. The first 3 episodes. So here's the deal. There was some confusion of when it's airing. I was a little confused. I had to actually look at it. You need to record different episodes because some of the DVRs aren't picking it up as The Flash. They're picking it up as Crisis Part 1, Part 2. So I suggest everyone check their DVRs, make sure you're recording this. I do think this is going to be pretty cool. The first episode airs this Sunday on Batwoman. I think it's 8 o'clock on CW. Episode 2 is on Monday on Supergirl. Episode 3 is on Tuesday, The Flash. And then the final 2 episodes are not airing until January. The second week of January, January 14th. What? Yeah, the last 2 episodes will air January, I think, 14th on Arrow, and then the season premiere of Legends of Tomorrow the following day. So it's a 5-episode crossover, but we are only getting the first half this weekend, and then the last 2 are going to finish up after everybody takes their winter break in January.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I mean, whatever. I mean, that's...
Well, they're trying to get those sweet, sweet ratings at the end of the year is what I'm guessing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they're going to try and take like a little bit of time to try and get people talking, but we'll see.
Well, I'll watch it. I mean, if nothing else, their crossover events have always usually been pretty good. So, yeah. All right, and then the last little bit of news we got here. Let's see what we got.
Year, so
Tesla unveiled a electric truck. I think it looks cool. It looks like a DeLorean, but if you want to check it out, you can check it out. We won't spend too much time talking about it because we still got a few more things I want to talk about here. We already talked about Star Wars merchandise. Talked about Batman. Oh, yeah. So we got our very first trailer for, first tease, finally, for Lock and Key, a new show coming out from Netflix. It's based on a series of graphic novels. We got a poster. It's a pretty kind of creepy poster. It shows a person with a keyhole in their back of their neck and a creepy key. Lock and Key, February 7th. So we now know when this is going to drop on Netflix. And now I don't know much about this. I know it's kind of a horror series, but it's not. It's like a fantasy horror. Ryan, you've read some of it. Would you like to tell us what it's about?
So I haven't read a ton of it. I've read like the first like 3 maybe comics of it. But it's basically like these. It's kind of hard to explain. So picture Umbrella Academy. You know how like crazy and complex and kind of weird and kooky that is? This kind of, I have a feeling, going to be kind of in the same vein of the Umbrella Academy. But basically with the key that the kid gets because they are shipped to their grandparents' house or something, and they find this key. And wherever you use the key to open a door, the door goes to a different place.
Okay.
So, and depending on which door you use the key in, it'll take you to a different place. But from what I read so far, all the places are seriously effed up places.
Oh, all right.
So that might be like the horror part of it.
Okay. Well, it sounds interesting. I think I'm glad to see Netflix diving into.
Here's a whole bunch of scary demons that are trying to kill.
Well, I'm glad, Umbrella Academy was really good. I'm excited to see Netflix dive into some of the comic book stories that aren't maybe as mainstream or superhero-y as, like DC and CW. So it looks cool. February 7th, we don't have to wait very long. Speaking of superheroes, apparently we may not have to wait very long either. Hopefully for the Snyder Cut, the legendary release the Snyder Cut movement has not gone away.
Ben Affleck is saying release the fucking Snyder Cut.
All the actors are finally saying release the Snyder Cut. If you don't know what the Snyder Cut is, it's basically the much butchered Justice League movie. It is the original Snyder Cut that he made. It's 3.5 hours long. It's before Joss Whedon hacked it up to make a movie that Warner Brothers wanted. A lot of people said it doesn't even exist. There has been a lot of commentary that, people get over it. This isn't a real thing. Well, Zack Snyder took to Vimeo or whatever it's a social media app, and he posted a picture of the 2 boxes of film that he has that say Director's Cut, Justice League, Director's Cut, and it has a runtime. It is 3.5 hours long. And he says, does it exist? Of course it does. Right across the picture. And then he kind of was hinting that, you know what, maybe the best thing for him would just be to release it online. And so, fingers crossed, we may get it. I don't know if it's going to be finished. I don't care. Anything is better than what we saw in the movie theater.
I don't understand why DC does. Oh, sorry. DC doesn't just give him the green light. Just do it. I mean, and then make some money off it. I mean, I'll pay for it.
I agree. I have a sneaking suspicion that might, but I think there's, who knows? I don't think DC knows what the hell they want to do with their movies anyway. So I don't care. Whatever.
Pretty much. Well, you read the thing where they said I don't know how to make Superman relatable in this modern age.
Don't even get me started on that. Man of Steel is still one of the best. Like, Zack Snyder had a great idea, I think, for some superhero movies. I know not everybody liked it, but I will never forgive Warner Brothers for chickening out and just not letting him finish his 5 movies that he had planned, that he originally pitched, and just give us something different. I love Marvel, but I don't need my DC to be Marvel. I need DC to be its own thing. I have gotten to the point, and I don't want to go on this tangent, but fuck it, I've gotten to a point where I'm no longer excited for DC properties. I don't care about the new Batman movie. I didn't watch the Joker movie. I don't give a crap about the Harley Quinn movie. I don't care about anything they've announced. I just don't give a crap. The last thing I cared about was the Zack Snyderverse because, you know what? It had its flaws. Absolutely. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. But at least it was interesting, and it was something different, and it had some incredible action, and visually it was gorgeous. It was a different take on superheroes.
Well, and it was building a story arc.
Yeah.
You know, and they definitely don't. Right now, they're just like, hey, what can we make some money off of? Let's do another Harley Quinn movie. Yep, we can make money off that.
It's just frustrating, and I'm sure. Here's the thing: if the Snyder Cut gets released and it's incredible and people love it, you know, now Warner Bros. Has got a dilemma, right? Like they've already course corrected, and they want people to forget about it.
They have to admit that they were wrong and that they should have just stuck with Zack Snyder.
It's a mess. There's a reason, and not on top of it, you know, they just paid J.J. Abrams like $500 million to come in and do a bunch of stuff for him. Rumor is he might be working on a Superman movie, so like they're just ready to move on. I don't care. I just want to see this movie because if it gives us at least a little closure on the story arc that was set up by Superman, you know, that he set up in Batman v Superman and everything else, I just would love. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Man of Steel. I like Batman v Superman. And I would love to see what he actually had intended for his 5-movie deal, but whatever. I mean, we'll never see that, but hopefully we can see the Snyder Cut.
Well, and just to add on, my son finally got around to watching Man of Steel, and he was like, "Dad, that was amazing."
Yeah, I know.
He was like, he's like, I kind of almost like that better than some like Marvel movies.
Man of Steel is incredible. I love the Man of Steel.
We immediately watched Batman v Superman. He was like, it was good, you know, but it wasn't as good as Man of Steel.
Yeah,
and then we watched Justice League, and he was like,
"What is this?" Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, that's literally the response to every single person.
I get that Batman v Superman was a different type, but they tried something different. It wasn't really a sequel to any movie. It was just kind of a continuation of a story, and I think people got confused, and the storytelling definitely got a little confusing in that aspect. But if you would take it as like, hey, it's setting up this Justice League in a bigger story, I think if he would have been able to finish all 5 movies, it would have all made sense in context. But yeah, I mean, Man of Steel is such a great standalone Superman movie. It's just incredible. But all right, I can talk about this forever. But okay, last couple stories, and then I want to break down a couple trailers real quick before we run too long. Apparently, Disney and Fox have decided they're going to make another Planet of the Apes movie. I thought the 3rd movie was a good cap to the end of it, but I don't know if this is what.
I really liked it.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was a good way to end the series. My guess is that there's no word on what it's going to be about. My guess is it's probably just going to continue the next storyline, I guess. I don't know, whatever.
Cool.
Who cares? And what was the other story I had? I had something else here somewhere. Hang on. Where'd it go? Oh, maybe that's it. Well, and then we got, well, whatever. I don't care about many other stories. The other two things we got this week that I do want to spend a couple minutes talking about is we got 2 new trailers. Well, we got 2 trailers for new movies that we haven't seen yet. So the first one dropped yesterday, and it was the highly anticipated, long-awaited Black Widow trailer. So, what'd you think?
Only about 15 years too late, but better late than never. So
I think it looked really cool.
Really good. So
I think it looks. Here's my thing. I think it looks really cool, and Marvel has earned enough for me that I'm not going to question why this movie is in existence right now, and I'll just take it that hey, it's going to kick off a really cool, Phase 4. I'm sure there'll be something that ties into the larger Marvel universe, but currently Black Widow's dead, and to your point, we should have made this movie 5 years ago.
Yeah,
I have a really hard time with this movie.
Place?
What?
So when in the timeline is this movie taking place?
It looks like this movie takes place after Infinity War, so I'm guessing after the snap.
Oh, okay.
Is what it looks like. So it either looks like sometime between Civil War and Infinity War is what it kind of looks like in that time
That's
frame.
What I'm trying to figure out because I was just trying to see like where, like how desolate the world looks and stuff like that.
There's clearly scenes in it from the Battle of Infinity War. So I don't know. I'm not sure exactly where it sits completely. And this is, like I said, this is kind of the confusion. I love seeing Black Widow stories, but to me, like I said, she's already dead. So no matter how great this movie is, you're going to sit the whole time knowing like, well, you're going to die in a couple of years. You're dead.
Yeah. You're not going to make it.
So, I mean, whatever. It does look exciting. I think the action looks top-notch. I really like all her costume changes. I think it's cool that she's going back to Russia to put together her old, I guess, Russian Special Forces unit.
Yeah.
David Harbour as the Russian Captain America is great. I like how they all make fun of him because he's gotten fat.
Squeezing into that suit.
So, I mean, what can I say? It looks cool. It looks like a Black Widow movie. It's not something that when I watched the trailer, I was like, oh my God. I'm sure the movie's going to be incredible. I'll go see it. I'm excited. It's Marvel. If it says Marvel, I'm going to go check it out.
Marvel knows the formula that works with their audiences, and they're just going to keep doing it. So,
in the words of my 7-year-old, this is what Marvel's done. In the words of my 7-year-old, she goes, "Oh, that looks cool." She goes, "Oh, and it's Marvel, so you know it'll be good." There you go. The other movie that I saw that actually got me a little more excited. And I swear to God, it has nothing to do with the fact that it's a male-led. It just I thought the trailer was better. Was the new James Bond movie? Was it Die Another? It's not Die Another Day. What is the name of this fucking movie? Let's see. James Bond. I don't remember the name of that. I don't even care. What is it? No Time to Die. That's what it is. No Time to Die. It looks really cool. The action looks top-notch. I love Rami Malek as the villain. He's such a good actor. I love him in Mr. Robot. I cannot wait to see him as the villain in this.
And it's a Bond movie. I mean, you know what you're going to be getting.
I like how they have a girl 007, and he's just like, "Oh, so you replaced me?" And she's like, "Listen, Boomer, get out of here." So
yeah, that's good.
It definitely has a feel of one last ride kind of thing going on.
No matter what, I mean, it's you can't miss it.
It looked action packed. I mean, it had the feeling of like a Call of Duty movie. I don't know. I'm really excited for it. It's Daniel Craig's last one for sure this time. So it looks like he's gonna go out with a bang. His last couple I thought were all right, but this one's got me excited. I'm excited for this. And
he's got really good. 2 more Bond movies he's supposed to be signed up for, right?
No. This is the last one. He officially said
this is it. The last one? Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is it. So it looks, I don't know. I think it looks really good. I'm sure it'll be awesome. Looks, whatever. I'm excited for it. It comes out, I think it comes out in April. So the other trailer we're supposed to be getting this week, I was kind of hoping it'd be out before we did the podcast, but hopefully it's something we can talk about next week. Apparently, Ghostbusters Afterlife. We're getting the first trailers for. This is the Ghostbusters sequel that is a direct sequel to Ghostbusters 1 and 2. So it got a name, Afterlife, and apparently we're getting a trailer. So we're supposed to get it this week. So keep your eyes open in the morning when you wake up. Maybe it'll be there. Or maybe it won't be. Who's to say?
Oh.
All right, and that is all the news we got for you.
Woohoo!
So before we move on, Ryan, would you like to? Well, not before we move on, Ryan. Would you like to pull up the questions so we can move on to our from the Faithful 15?
Oh, yes. So, if you would like to leave a question for us to answer every day that we're on the recording, I'll put up a post on our Facebook page, and usually I try to find a good image, and you can leave a comment on that. And so, for our first question from the Faithful 15, we have Christine, and she wants to know what is Santa's favorite snack at your house? And so she's asking, what do you guys put out for Santa, basically? And she said her family does peanut butter kiss cookies and beer.
Oof.
So.
That sounds like you might need to take some Tums, but it also kind of sounds amazing. Let's see. What do I use? I mean, I usually just do with the kids, whatever the kids want. Usually we have some chocolate chip cookies. I've started going to buy like Oreos because I like Oreos better.
Yeah.
I think this year though I'm gonna get those white chocolate fudge covered Oreos.
Ooh.
And then my youngest always leaves out carrots for the reindeer.
Yeah, so my kids kind of do the same thing. They always want to leave out cookies and milk, the traditional stuff. But I always be like, only fill the glass up halfway. Santa doesn't want to have to drink a full glass of milk.
Santa's lactose intolerant.
Yeah, and they always put out the carrots and stuff. But when I was a kid growing up, we always put out potato chips and beer because my parents said, Santa likes, potato chips and beer, which would, when you think about it, that's happens to be my dad's favorite snack.
I'm gonna
put the two and two together.
Put a glass of scotch.
I guess if it had been potato chips and beer with a pickle on the side, then I guess I would have known it was my dad that was eating all the.
I'm gonna put out a glass of scotch and a plate of lasagna.
No, we would just open up a bottle.
Just leave it there. Yeah, so I might do that. As far as drinks go, we usually just do milk for the cookies, but I think this year I'm just going to put out a bowl of ice cream.
That sounds good. All right, thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
Let's see, next up we have Jeff. He wants to know, how much money are you willing to spend on a production quality Baby Yoda? I'm going to say, oh man, how much would I want to spend?
I'm going to say there is no amount of money that I would not be willing to spend on a replica or the actual puppet from The Mandalorian. I might mortgage my house to buy one.
I would not spend more than $100 on a toy.
So, okay, we were supposed to answer this for real? All right, for realsies?
Yeah.
I'd probably spend a couple hundred.
$100 or less, I would pay for. I would buy the best quality Yoda I can get.
Well, the answer is we're going to find out when I go to Disneyland in May. How much I'm willing to spend for a puppet Yoda. Right. I don't know. I'm with you. I mean, I joke and I really want one, but like even this Chewbacca for real thing that I got, I wouldn't have paid $130 for it. I only got it because it's on sale for $50.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love all my stuff, but I usually try and find something on sale. If I could find something probably under, it's got to be under $150. You start hitting $200, you over $200 for like, I mean, that's a nice pair of Nike Air Maxes. So,
I say 100. Brian says 200. Brian,
I'll go 200. There we go. Why? You got a line on one, Jeff? You got one in your house? Did you go to the set and steal one?
I have one already. I did not willing to show you yet.
I mean, for $200, I could get a nice Baby Yoda tattoo, which actually it looks like it might happen. I've been getting a lot of people asking me if I could find a spot for Baby Yoda. I think I might just put the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda on their own spot, like right here.
Just don't get that really ugly one that you showed me.
Oh my God, there's no. Yeah. It's terrible. All right, thanks for the question, Jeff.
Let's see. Next up, we have from our good friend Chris. The good Chris, not the bad Chris. He wants to know, is the shitter full, Brian? Because the
Yes.
image was cousin Eddie.
I'm going to say
up the
yes, Ryan. The shitter is full.
sewer. No. My shitter is always full because my kids are constantly pooping.
Dude, I don't even talk about it. I got a camp trailer, and we go for a 3-day weekend, and my kids are like, they fill up the black tank in a day and a half. I'm like, how do you poop this much?
Yeah.
It's like I wonder 60 gallons of shit. How is it full?
Why we have to go to Costco to get toilet paper rolls. I mean,
dude, go through so much toilet paper. God, yeah. Well, thanks for the question, Chris.
Did have one more question that I saw on the one that you shared.
Yes.
It was from a Holly. Holly.
I don't know who this Holly is, but she sounds hot. Who the person is.
Yeah. But she said, "What would it take, Brian, for you to dress up in the Cousin Eddie costume, go out into your yard, and mow the lawn?"
So here's the deal. What would it cost? I don't know. Probably favors. Lots of favors.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. I would be willing to dress up as Cousin Eddie and go hang out in the lawn for free. I am not mowing the lawn for free, though. So, I mean, if you want me just to get in a sexy bathrobe and some combat boots and a duck hat and go out in the yard yelling at neighbors, shitters full.
You have an RV. You don't even need to be in the yard. You can just go out to your RV.
I'll just sit out there in my lawn chair with drinking a beer and having a cigar, yelling out shitters full to people on Christmas. Christine wants to know what it would take for me to live stream that. You know what? I'll just do it. I don't care. I got no shame. I got no shame in my game. If the whole world wants to see my sexy legs in a bathrobe, well then I'll do it.
So the next step is to find a white robe that
people need to mail me the Cuddy. Hey, listen, if someone sends me the Cousin Eddie set, I will rock it. If someone puts together the Cousin Eddie wardrobe and mails it to me, I will post it live outside, yelling at people driving by. Shitter's full.
You hear it here, people.
I pledge that.
I think we need to do. I will figure out how to organize this, and I'll put it up on the Facebook post. I'll put like a wish list on Amazon, or I'll find a thing. I'll do like a little wish list thing. We'll try and get it up for you.
I mean, as far as Holly goes, what she's gonna have to give me, I'll send her my list of demands. But for everybody else, you get this for free.
Yeah. We all know what Brian's list of demands is going to be.
For anybody who doesn't know, Holly is my beautiful missus, so don't think I'm being a creeper. I mean, I guess I am still a creeper.
Thank you, Holly. I think now we all have that image in our head, and everybody is really looking forward to seeing Brian.
I'll do it.
The robe.
Just gotta get a couple cocktails in me. All right, thank you everyone for the questions. That was fun. Great picture, Ryan. I've noticed when you put the fun pictures up, we get more questions, so something to think about for the future. And let's see, we're running along here, so why don't we figured before we get out of here for our weekly recommendations, since me and Ryan have not had time to really do anything, that we would just remind everybody all the great shows coming out in December of things that you should be watching and get caught up on. So I will go first. If you'd like to, we can just alternate until we run out of ideas. The first show that I say that you need to watch that comes out in December is Castlevania Season 3. If you have not watched Castlevania, the amazing animated series on Netflix based on the 1980s game from Nintendo, it is one of the best animated shows I've ever seen, and I highly recommend you get caught up on it.
And they're like, what, like 30-minute episodes?
Yeah, they're short, 22 minutes long, 8-episode seasons.
But they're so good that you find yourself watching the entire season in like a 4-hour stretch.
Yes, so if you have not seen it at all, watch Season 1 and 2, but Season 3 has dropped. All right, Ryan, what do you got?
So I have that tonight is the season premiere, the final season of Vikings on the History Channel. So if you want to see what happens to Cat after Bjorn.
I'm going to say that a lot of people die, Ryan. That's what I'm going to say happens.
Yeah, I'm going to see a lot of people are going to die. So.
All right, I say next week after, I think it's week after next, is the Netflix premiere of The Witcher, the Henry Cavill led fantasy
I forgot about
sword
that.
and sorcery epic that is
my
dropping. Supposedly, some of the people have seen early screeners, and they say that the action in it makes any and everything done on Game of Thrones look crappy. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, what do you got? What else? What do you got?
Oh, well, since we're just going to keep moving along on stuff that everyone needs to start writing down a list before we start forgetting all this, everything again. But The Expanse is coming.
Season 4.
Amazon high quality. The Amazon just shoved a bunch of money and said, you know what you're doing on sci-fi was good. Why don't you go ahead and make it a little better? And now we're going to see what happens when they get the Amazon money.
Yep.
So, and a lot of freedom. So
yeah, I'm very excited for this. Next up on my list is the season 2 of Lost in Space. Is airing on Netflix.
Oh, I totally forgot about that show. That one came out like 2 years ago.
Like a year and a half ago. It takes a long time to make those sci-fi shows on Netflix.
Man, I think I am topped out.
All right. Honorable mention. Technically, it launched in November, but I think a lot of people have forgotten. Season 4 of Man in the High Castle launched on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And what else was there?
We haven't talked about it on the show, other than very briefly, but the final season of Mr. Robot is out right now on US.
It's incredible. And there's also the new Ryan Reynolds movie coming out on Netflix. I forget what it's called. It's got some weird name. It's the Michael Bay movie. Ryan Reynolds looks amazing. Comes out next weekend.
I still haven't watched the Paul Rudd one where
I haven't watched that one, I haven't watched The Irishman, which apparently is really good too on Netflix. So there you go. That is enough stuff to keep you occupied on top of all the Christmas movies that you need to watch. Maybe next week, if there's no news, me and Ryan will run down some of our favorite Christmas movies. Maybe we'll even do an official top 10 Christmas movie list. We'll see. But, well, Ryan, unless you got anything else, I think that's the show.
Do not.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, why don't you tell everybody where they can find us?
All right. Well, you can find us on YouTube at the Geek Dad Report and Twitter at the Geek Dad Report. And Brian is Brian West 53, and I'm Big Bruiser. We're on Facebook at the Geek Dad Report, and you can find us on iTunes. So make sure you like, subscribe, give us a heart, and retweet when we talk about the episodes, and just let us know what you think and give us some comments. And if you have something that you've been holding back on and you didn't feel like you had anyone to talk to, we will be that person you can talk to.
We are always here.
And we have a lot of really cool followers that if you feel like you're going to be, the only person out there to like something, we got a lot of really cool people that follow us, and they will talk to you, and
we're generally positive and like everything.
Yeah. So we have a really good positive fan base. I've always been appreciative of that.
Yes, so. we don't just shit on things. We like things around here. It's fun.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for some daily nerd positivity in your life, like, subscribe, and tell your friends about it. So, but until next week, everyone, stay awesome
and stay nerdy, everybody.
That is the way, Ryan.
And watch all the stuff.
No, it's The Mandalorian. I say that is the way, and you say that is the way. That's how it works.
Sorry.
You know what? You've ruined the bit. Maybe next week. Later, everyone.